Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, My Social Thread. My name's Crystal and today is my July makes vlog, which is a roundup of the whole of July, everything I've been making all in one place. For those of you that are joining me for the first time, thank you so much. If you are liking my content, please do kindly like and subscribe. For those of you that are returning, thank you so much for returning. Thank you so much for subscribing. Please do check out the rest of my channel for other vlogs on there that might interest you. Okay, so first and foremost, what I'm wearing the Tilly and the Buttons Tabitha T-Shirt dress in a lovely rust-coloured cotton jersey from Higgs and Higgs, and some ribbing, which is supposed to be matching, but it kind of doesn't match fully. But there you go. I will show you the pattern here. It is from her Make It Simple book, Tilly and the Buttons Make It Simple book, and the pattern is the Tabitha T-Shirt dress. She call it the drawstring dress. I call it the T-shirt dress. Tabitha T-Shirt drawstring dress here. And basically what it is it's the Tabitha T-shirt, short sleeve, elbow length sleeves or long sleeves, and then it gives you instructions of how to draft your own skirt pattern piece, and then you attach the two together, create a channel for the drawstring and add a drawstring. It goes from a size... Ooh, hello. It goes from a size, yes, UK 6, which is a bust of 30 inches, waist of 24 inches, all the way up to a UK 24, bust of 48 inches and waist of 42 inches. I made the size 5 at the bust, and then I graded down to a size 4 in the waist, and then the hip, the skirt, I did my own measurements, and I did the calculations that Tilly tells you in the instructions to draft my own skirt pattern piece. So that's that. I enjoyed the dress so much that I have made quite a few. Let me show you them. So the next dress I made was this version here. I'll pop up a picture actually of myself wearing this dress. And then this is the second one that I made. This is in a lovely floral cotton jersey, organic cotton jersey from Jenny Stitches Fabrics. I've seen this in various places as well. And then I've got some blue ribbing there. And then the drawstring, I went for beige this time because I couldn't find the blue. I'll pop up a picture. The next one I made is this lovely pink one. This is actually my daughter's one, but I tried it on to, I modelled it for the photographs. This is in a lovely baby pink. It's a modal jersey, baby pink with sort of a goldy brown, almost like leopard print dashes. And then I've got this lovely label here, top stitched as well. And then the drawstring, I managed to get sort of a lovely beigey coloured drawstring there. And I'll pop up a picture of myself wearing that. Oh, the other one is, bear with me. The other one I made is in a beautiful Arts Gallery fabric. This is from Little Miss So-and-so. They were doing a 20% off all of their new fabric at the time, back in July. And this was 20% off, which is amazing. The colours are so vivid, so beautiful. I've loved this fabric from afar for a while, but I haven't ever bought Art Gallery fabric, actually, because it is expensive. But I thought with the 20% off, and I knew exactly what I was going to make with it. Like, it wasn't just going to go into my stash. I thought I'd treat myself. And that's that. And I've got navy drawstrings for that. So the navy the drawstrings I have mostly got from either Minerva Crafts, Hobbycraft, or Jelly Fabrics. So that's the drawstring for that one. And then the last one that I made is one for my daughter again. It's a navy background with some lovely boats on it. It's like got the red bits are in a metallic colour, and that's from Pound Fabrics, and some contrasting ribbing from Pound Fabrics. And I've put a lovely little label there. Oh, that's from Sew Anonymous. And then the what's it called? The drawstring I went for was a red to match the ribbing on the neckline. So in terms of this pattern, I obviously really like it, hence I've made so many. What can I say? Okay, so it is lovely and easy to make. I found that the inserting of the neckband was really satisfying because it just sat down nicely. It wasn't baggy, it wasn't standing up. It was a really good sew. After my first one, which was actually the blue cotton floral, I loved it so much, and I already had the pattern pieces out. I quickly went into my stash and cut out more, and after the first one, I think the subsequent dresses I made in about 2 hours from start to finish. So it's a lovely palette cleanser, and it's a lovely project to do if you're, you know, you've lost your sojo, or if you've lost confidence in sewing because you've done something that maybe didn't turn out well, or turned out well but then it didn't look nice, it didn't suit you. So this is a lovely palette cleanser. What I was going to say, oh, so when I make it again, well, when I have made it in subsequent times, sorry, with the, let me show you on this one here, with the channel. So basically you're supposed to join the, can you see it in this one? You're supposed to join the bodice and the skirt panels together at the waist, and then the seam allowance you fold up, and that becomes the channel for your drawstring. And then you insert eyelets, which I'll talk about in a bit, and then obviously you get, it's the standard sort of, get a safety pin and thread the drawstring. Well, actually they don't tell you to use drawstring, they tell you to make your own drawstring with jersey fabric, but that just didn't work for me. But you're supposed to use a safety pin and thread it through all the way. So what I decided to do instead, to omit that step, is when I fold up the seam allowance underneath to create the channel, I already insert the drawstring around, and then I sew the channel on top of that. So then that's already in there, so I can omit that step. So I think that's a nice tip. I don't know if you wanted to speed things up even more. The other thing as well with the eyelets, so I've just, where are my eyelets? Up there? Oh yeah, let me just get it for you, 1 second. Sorry about that. So with the eyelets, I just bought these hemline eyelets, 5.5 millimeters in a black. So you get the eyelets here and you get the tool there. So for those of you that haven't used it before, you get this little tool here. This is how it comes. And this part here, the first part is, what do you do? So this is the base here. You put your fabric on top of here, you put that on top of there, so this fabric is sandwiched in between, and then you hammer this down to create a hole in your fabric. So then you can then put the eyelet pieces in, which consists of sort of, let me show you that bit, that piece, and then that piece goes on top. So you put that through the fabric, and then you put that on top, and then again you use the same thing. You use this base bit here, the fabric is in between the two eyelets, you put that on top and you hammer it down, and it all sticks down together. Now what I found is when I've done it the way that the hemline package has told me to do so, the instructions are at the back, is I find that sometimes the fabric does actually come away from the side, so you get like a gap there and it just comes away. So that's really annoying. Even with interfacing, actually it does that. Obviously you have to interface your piece of that area where you're going to put the eyelet into. So what I decided to do as well, instead, was I remember seeing a tutorial on Guthrie and Ghani. Lauren did a tutorial on how she inserts her eyelets, and she uses one of these, not sure what it's called, an eyelet puncher, hole puncher. And I think I have these floating around because I used to use them for making, when I was still practicing law, I used to make quite a lot of legal documents like wills, draft contracts, that sort of thing. And don't ask me why, I'm sure I could have just easily used a hole puncher, but we had one of these, so this is what I've used. And it comes in different sort of holes, and I use the thinnest hole, and I basically punch a hole in my jersey fabric. So this hole is much smaller than the eyelet, So this hole is much smaller than the eyelet. And then what I do is I push this through the whole of the jersey, and I stretch the jersey around it so it's quite taut. And then I use the tool to attach it all together. And I find that way, because the hole is much smaller and it's stretched around the eyelet rather than being an exact fit, the fabric doesn't come out the ends, which is what I found works well. Having said that, however, with my daughter's one, this one here, which is the last one I made, when she tried it on, she pulled the drawstrings away from each other, and then one of the eyelets popped out, which I'm really annoyed with, because I couldn't figure out a way to fix it. So that eyelet, you can see, is on nicely. This eyelet, the only way I thought to fix it was to hand stitch all the way around the eyelet into the fabric beneath, because the only other way I could think of doing it was going from the inside, unpicking the waistband, I don't know, maybe interfacing it a bit more, sewing it on top and creating a hole next to it. I don't know. If anybody knows of an idea of how to fix a broken eyelet on a jersey dress, please do comment below, because I'd really like to know, just in case some of the other dresses end up with that fate. So that's that one. What else do I want to say about the Tilly and the Buttons? No, that's it really. So very easy make, very lovely palette cleanser. You must try it. It is great. Having said that, moving along nicely actually, the next couple of makes were the Tabitha T-shirt by itself. So I've made three. Actually, I made another one. I've made 3 of these T-shirts for my daughter. Stripy version here with a little label that says this is the back. And this is just a navy and white stripe from Guthrie and Garney. Just your normal basic Tabitha T-shirt dress, same pattern which I showed you before. You'll see this, you'll remember this fabric because I'm wearing it. So this is the remnant fabric from the dress that I'm wearing. Just another simple T-shirt. This is the back. Another simple T-shirt for my daughter, 15-year-old daughter this one is for. And then I made her another plain one. This is the back again, label-wise there. A lovely plain white T-shirt. And I was thinking actually, the T-shirts, I mean, I know you can get some inexpensive T-shirts in Primark for, I don't know, £5 I think, and then say Next, for example, I don't know how much is a white T-shirt in Next, 15 to 20 pounds. But I think between those two, making your own is just so super satisfying. And I think this is such a basic pattern, but it's just basic simple sewing done beautifully without me sounding like I'm, you know, I'm applauding myself. I just think it's so lovely to make a basic yourself, and it just looks so crisp, so white, so clean, beautifully sewn, and I'm very happy with that. So that's the same Tabitha T-shirt pattern, and this is the one that I made for my daughter, and I have made one for myself as well. I'll show you over here. So again, the Tabitha T-shirt dress, and my label says, oh, it says as well, this is the back on my one. And I made this T-shirt to go with my salt water slip, which is over here. And this is made in a beautiful Atelier Brunette viscose crepe in the ochre colorway. I have got the waist ties here, salt water slip. You've got the bra adjusters here, so you can adjust the bra straps or the slip straps, and it has got a bias bound neckline, and then bias all the way around that turns into the straps themselves. I'll pop up a picture of myself wearing it. And the pattern is from Friday Pattern Company, saltwater slip. And this comes in a size extra small, bust of 32 inches, waist of 24 inches, all the way up to an extra large, bust of 44 inches, waist of 36 inches. And it's basically a very simple slip dress, almost like a camisole top, but with the skirt, 2 side slits and a waist tie. And it's got a back seam as well there. Now I was confused as to why it had a back seam, because it was normally you would just have the back cut on the fold and the front cut on the fold, and the reason why they have that there is just for a bit of shaping. So I will show you. So the reason why they have back seam is because the back, so this is the side, the back kind of goes down, then it goes out a bit and it comes in a bit like that, and I think that part there is where your bum area is, so it gives extra shaping to your bottom. So it's a nice bit of detail there. So the salt water slip, I do like it, but I don't think it's my favorite slip dress pattern, and I will tell you why. The reason is because of the bias neck, the bias neck. So it tells you in the instructions to, let me show you here actually. It tells you in the instructions to make bias binding, which is fair enough. You know, you just you cut out the strips, fold them in half, open them up, fold them in half one way, fold them in half the other way, and then you're supposed to sandwich the bodice part in the middle and sew it all down all in one go. Now that you have one bias piece, one bias strip here, and then this one goes all the way around, so that's a really long piece. So for this one, it worked out not too badly actually. It worked out quite nice and quite neat, so that gave me lots of confidence to steam ahead with a longer bias strip. And it went terribly wrong because I found that as I was going along, the fabric kept moving and it wasn't actually sandwiching properly in between the bias binding. And so I had to unpick, I had to try and get the fabric in between again, stitch it down. So luckily the fabric is quite busy. You can't really see the stitching, but if I show you, oh, there's quite a lot of stitching on there. So I don't really like that aspect of the pattern. And then I was thinking, actually, that's the way they've told you to attach that bias strip. But normally, when you get bias binding, I don't know if I have any to hand. Let me just have a piece of paper. When you get bias binding, you're normally told to... so I'll just do a quick bias binding here. So normally, I've just made a quick mock-up of a bias tape. So you get your length of fabric, you're told to fold it in half, then open it out, fold it in half again, fold it in half again, and that's your bias strip basically, isn't it? That's your bias strip. And so it tells you to put your fabric in between, sandwich it together, and sew it all in one go, so it catches this bit, the middle fabric, and the back bit at the same time. So I found that my fabric was kind of coming undone like this, or it was catching at the front but not at the back, and it was just a real pain actually, especially because the fabric is slippery viscose crepe. And now I realize actually when you're told to use bias binding, normally you would attach it to the back first, fold it over and attach it to the front. So I don't know why they've asked us to do it all in one go, especially since it's a beginner pattern. Oh well, confident beginner. So I just thought if I was to do it again, or if other people are finding it difficult to attach the bias binding in 2 steps like you would normally use bias binding, hopefully that makes sense. The other thing as well, with these little straps here, they tell you to attach it downwards first of all. Sorry, they tell you to attach it downwards first of all, sew it on, then put the bias strip on top, and then turn that bit up and then sew it down again, so then it's going upwards the right way. But I thought by doing that you've got a lot of bulk there, which is unnecessary. So I think again I would put the bias strip on first, and then I would just finish off the seams there of the strip, and then add that little bra strap on the top there, so then I'm only sewing over it once rather than twice. So that's another tip there for me. Again, for the side slits, just for my own preference, I will make the slit a bit shorter on the side because I thought it was a bit too high for me. And with the ties, they're only supposed to tie at the back. You don't have to have them, it's optional, and they're only supposed to tie at the back. But I found the ties were long enough to go around the back and the front. And for me personally, I thought the tie at the front gave me more of a waist and just looked more flattering on me. So I will be doing that next time if I do make it, although I have just made the Sicily slip dress, which I'm liking a lot more because there's no bias binding. It's a lovely cowl neck and it's beautifully finished. Anyhow, I'll talk about that at another vlog. The next thing that I made was the Megan Nielsen Darling Rangers dress, which is the it's a lovely sort of shirt dress, v-neck, button placket all the way down. You can have a waist here, so you've got bodice and skirt with ties at the back, 3/4 length sleeves with elasticated cuffs, short sleeves. You can make the blouse version or the loose fitting dress version without the waist. I don't like the ties on mine, so I chose to elasticate mine. I have made this dress before. This comes in a size 0, the bust of 32, waist of 24, up to a size 20, bust of 46 to a waist of 38. I have made it before, and I made it in a size 12, but the ones that I have made in the past, I feel like the bust is slightly struggling a little bit, but I really didn't have the desire to cut out another pattern. So what I did was keep the size 12, and instead of using the 5/8 seam allowance, I decided to use a 3/8 seam allowance to give me extra room at the bust. But then when I made it all up, I realized oddly it was really big then, so I had to take it in, basically undoing. I might as well just stuck to the 5/8 inches seam allowance because I had to take it in anyway. But it was an easy fix because I just used my overlocker to take in the side seams. Also, sorry, I'll show you my dress here. I'll pop up a picture actually of me wearing it first. And I'll show you my dress here. It's a beautiful cotton poplin from Hey So Sister, and I use some red poppers down the front here, and I've got the elasticated waist here. So yes, yeah, so when I added the elastic to the back, it wasn't cinching in as much as it normally has done in the past. And then I looked at my previous dress and I realized that I had actually inserted some waist darts myself, and they were like 2-inch waist darts here and a 2-inch waist dart there, and that brought it in nicely without the need for any gathering or any waist ties. So that's that. I really enjoy this dress, actually making it. Again, it's bias bound all the way around here, I think on this side as well. No, it's just around this bit is the bias bound, and then the buttons are just prim poppers, which are nice and easy to do rather than buttonholes. And you've got the lovely pockets here. A lovely dress. Again, you could dress it up, dress it down. My only qualm with this dress is I think I put the button too high, so you can see here already it's starting to sort of pull when I wear it, so maybe I could just lower that button by a tad here. But apart from that, another lovely Darling Rangers dress. I think I've made 4 of these so far, and that's that one. Did I forget to say, sorry, I forgot to mention that the saltwater slip dress, this was part of my July, is it July? Yes, my July, no, my June So Luxurious All Set to Sew kit from Little Miss So-and-so. I'm a brand ambassador for them, so I got this kit for them, from them. And then the next thing I made was the Tilly and the Buttons Indigo smock dress. So it's a smock dress. Now, when I first saw this, no offense at all to Romana, who I'm sure most of you know was a contestant on the Great British Sewing Bee. She also has a very successful Instagram account. Anyhow, that didn't give me any sort of sewing inspiration whatsoever. I mean, even the picture inside page Joanna there. Again, so this was released a couple of years ago now, I believe, or maybe a year ago, and I had no interest in making it whatsoever. But then there were quite a few pictures coming up on Instagram of people making the indigo, and actually it looked really, really lovely. And the reason why it looked lovely, because I just basically looked at this and I just thought that's really baggy, there's no shape, it's not my style, I would never buy or wear it. But what people have been doing is to make waist ties to cinch the dress in at the waist, and it totally transforms the dress. I'll show you my version here. I'll pop up a picture of myself wearing it. And this is my version here. It's made in a rust polka dot viscose from Rainbow Fabrics Kilburn. And I've got a little label there. I think that's from This is for Makers. It's got a facing for the neckline, no other sort of buttons or zippers or fastening, so it has to be quite loose to get over your head, and that's why it is a loose smock dress. And then you have ties if you want. I just made them myself to cinch in at the waist. And I also bought the Indigo add-on pack. So you have, with the Indigo add-on pack, you've got a variation of sleeves, and then you've got other tiers to make a ruffle at the bottom of the skirt, which I have done. So basically the Indigo, you can do quite a lot of different hacks with them by swapping and changing sort of the length, the tiers of the skirts and the lengths of them, and then sleeves as well. And also, because it is quite a simple shape, the bodice is simple and the skirt is quite straight and gathered, you can really use some lovely fabrics to show off the fabric itself, which is really nice. This was a very easy make. Again, everything went in beautifully. The facing went in lovely as well. The only thing I have qualms with facings is that you're supposed to anchor them down like at the side, which I have done, at the shoulder seam, which I have done, but I find, I don't know, this bit still sticks out a little bit, I think, when I'm wearing it, so I'm not sure. I guess if it was a busy fabric, I could just put a little stitch there and a little stitch at the back, but you'd probably see that on this fabric, so I didn't do that. But anyhow, so that's that one. The Indigo dress goes from a size, UK size 6, bust of 30 inches, waist of 24 inches, all the way to a UK 24, bust of 48 inches, waist of 42 inches. What did I write about the Indigo? So the Indigo, I'm just looking at my book here. This is my little sewing project log, care of Ruan, who mentioned it on her YouTube channel, and everybody has bought it since. No, that's it. That's all I have to say. So I made a size 5 and I graded down to a size 4 in the waist for me, and that was perfect. Instructions are very good, very easy. There's nothing difficult about the dress. The only difficult thing, I suppose, is putting a facing in, which isn't really difficult at all. So that's that. Really enjoyed making that. I have got another one in a work in progress that I'm working on at the moment in terms of the Indigo. What else have I made? Yes, I have made the Jennifer Lauren handmade Bastion culottes, which I will show you here. So culottes are basically skirt / trousers. And this is a lovely one because it has these buttons and a bib front, so you undo the buttons and the bib flaps forward for you to get in and out of it. So this pattern, I'll pop up a picture of myself wearing these two culottes, and the variations are just the length. So you've got the short version and the long version here. And this goes, Jennifer Lauren handmade sizes. She does an original size and a curved size. Original, which is the one that I bought, goes from a size 6, which is a waist of 24 1/4, hip of 35 1/4, all the way up to a size 24, which is a waist of 41 7/8, and a hip of 52 7/8. So this version here, just do the buttons up. This is in a lovely blue polka dot linen cotton mix from Lamazi Fabrics, and I'll show you how the buttons undo. So basically, so I don't know if you can see, that's a waistband there, so you undo the buttons and this flaps forward, and you do the same with that bit flaps forward, you get in, and then you do the buttons. So this is no, it's not a viscose, this is a cotton linen mix, but it's quite drapey, which is nice actually. So that's that pair there. And then I made another pair in a pure linen in the berry colorway from First for Fabrics. It's that version hint there. We'll use the same buttons, lovely big pockets, lovely crisp waistband there, back as well. And I'll show you how wide the leg is actually, so you've got an idea of. So I don't know if you can see it. So that's the leg there, and you have two of those. So because you've got all that fabric, it kind of gives the effect of a skirt, but with the comfort of trousers. So this is actually the third and fourth culottes that I have made, and I really enjoy making them. What is it? I wouldn't say it was a beginner pattern. What have they put it as? They don't actually say. So doing the button, I mean the pocket bags and things, there was just a lot more instructions, because you have basically, what do they call this? You have the pocket facing here, then you have the pocket, and then you have the pocket lining. And I've used the leftover fabric for this. So it's just a couple more steps to do for this particular pattern. But everything, you know, slots in beautifully, goes together nicely. Oh, buttonholes, that's what I was going to say. With buttonholes, they normally obviously tell you where to put the buttonholes. You get like a little pattern piece, you know, to where to align them, but they don't necessarily tell you how to sew the buttons on. Now that's going to sound really silly. So basically, when I do my buttonholes, I cut them open, put it where I want it on this part here, and then I draw in that slit there with a heat erasable pen, a friction pen, and then when I remove that, obviously you have the marking for where you want to sew your buttons. Now normally what I would do is I would, like I said, have that mark there, and then I would sew my button right in the middle of that buttonhole, which makes sense, one would think. But actually, if you sew it in the middle, when you wear it, the tendency is for it to go that way, because that's the largest point. And so everything goes all out of alignment because you've got that movement there. I mean, there's a lot of movement there. So really, in terms of sewing the buttons, instead of sewing it in the middle where it would fall in the middle, you should really sew it so that the middle of the button goes to this side. So when you put it on, there is no movement there. So I don't know, I hope that makes sense. I hope that's a handy tip for somebody at least. What else do I have to say about it? Let me just have a look at my notes. What is this called? What are we called? Jennifer Lauren Bastion culottes. Yep, that's it. And also for the hemming, which I have done in one of my other versions, because it's lovely and flowy. If you've got like a thin fabric, like a viscose or a crepe, instead of hemming it, you could actually use your 3-thread hem on your overlocker. So, you know, it's got like just a, I don't have, do I have it here? Bear with me. I might have it here. Oh, I do. So this is my very first pair that I made, which was a collaboration with Claire from Stitch Hem Sew. So this is my very first pair of culottes, and the end I just used my overlocker to do a narrow three-thread narrow rolled hem instead. So that's a nice way to finish that off rather than hemming it. So that's the first pattern, ever version I made of that. What else have I made? I think that's it. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Oh, and I also made, which I don't have it to hand anymore, a Daddy Melian hoodie for my goddaughter, which I'll post up a picture here. Daddy Melian, I have mentioned that before. It's a German company. Instructions are in German, unfortunately, but if you do Google translate it, it's very, and if you've obviously made a hoodie before, you'll pretty much know how to construct it. The only thing with the Daddy Melian is that there are no seam allowances in between the chevron stripes, so you have to add that on yourself, but that's easy enough to do. I used my Generates seam circles, which I got from my So Holy Jane box, and that was quite handy. The only other thing I have made is, I think that's it actually for July. Oh no, I do have a couple of works in progresses, but I can't put that on here now because obviously I haven't fully made it. And that's all that I have been up to. That's actually quite a lot. How many things have I made? 1, 2. Then I've made 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I made 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9, the T-shirts. And then I made the Tabitha dresses, 7, 8, 9. 10. 11. Oh gosh. 12. 13. and 14, the dress that I'm wearing. I've actually enjoyed it because the children have been off school now. I've had a couple of days where I have been able to sew whilst the children have been playing in the garden, playing in the paddling pool, watching a movie, that sort of thing, just running around the house, running around the garden. So I've had quite a lot of time to sew this month actually, which I'm very, very grateful for. I've got lots of plans coming up for August as well, a couple of collaborations, but I will go through that in my August sewing plans vlog, which hopefully will be coming up soon. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please kindly consider liking and subscribing. And in the meantime, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next week or next time. Thank you. Bye bye.